usually the way it goes.
Oh, it does. We get a lot of storms here. Yes, we feel the brunt of climate change. Oh, there I go, straight into campaigning again. You can take a day off, Sophie,
No, you
if you
can
want.
totally do it. Please tell us. Look, so what's your what do you what if there was one major kind of message that you wanted to get across in this stream? If there was only one, and there's not, you're going to get a chance to talk all about it. But if there was one primary thing, what's the lead? What's the lead here? What do you want to say that's the most important thing for you? Just so that people. Yeah, if there was only one, and there's not, you're going to get a chance to talk all about it. But if there was one primary thing, what's the lead? What's the lead here? What do you want to say that's the most important thing for you? Just so that people. Yeah.
The most important thing I'd like to say today is about why people should vote Scottish Greens. Why? Why not vote for another party? Well, the bottom line is the other parties, they just don't bother about us. They don't even consider.
Basically, you should vote Green because no one else cares about trans people. I'm sure that's going to resonate with the general population of fucking Aberdeen or whatever.
Us when making policies, and most of the Scottish Green policies are trans focused, such as trans healthcare, inclusion in education, and the removing the
Sophie Molly, yeah.
block on puberty.
She just sounds like that, unfortunately.
Removing the ban on puberty blockers.
It's so important.
Oh, that's a tongue twister.
It is
removing the block on puberty
but it's also
blockers.
A key issue, and it has my support. I think most people in the trans community will be 100% supportive about that, because it's we all, anyone who can get onto puberty blockers is so lucky. It just means that they have a much better chance of having a really nice, normal, fulfilling life.
Is that true? Do we think that's true? Jesus Christ.
That a lot of us as older transitioners could only,
Actually, no, they both have 1 HP voice. Anyway.
can only dream of that. And
I wish
we could have had it. We all wish we could have got on it. And so we know the damage that first puberty kind of does to us physically, but also emotionally. It makes our lives so much more challenging. And so puberty blockers are absolutely.
How are you supposed to know that? Does this person think if they went through puberty as a kid, if they went through puberty blockers and stuff as a kid and never had male androgenizing effects or whatever it's called, would her life be easier? Would she be better off? How would you know?
They're a godsend for these trans kids who need them. And at the moment, the only way to do it is to DIY, right? And that's not a good solution. The state.
You'll pass better, but that's not all there is to it. I mean, you might have health problems from it. Who knows? There's all kinds of things. For me, I don't regret the fact that I went through male puberty ages before I transitioned, because my life has kind of gone to a place where I'm actually kind of happy with some of it. You know what I mean? So I don't really regret anything, honestly, in a way.
It should be supporting them.
I know DIY is sort of it's desperate. It's desperate because it's sort of we've been let down. Yet, as you say, by.
Yeah. Do we know the impact of puberty blockers on the cognitive development, on mental and cognitive development? Well, exactly. So for some reason, I'm getting slight Ray Wise vibes from Twin Peaks. More at the top, and I think it's where the hair is kind of brushed out. It kind of looks like his hair. I guess there's 3 forehead queens, because my forehead's... I mean, it's not showing too much today. We know it's bad, we just don't know how bad. Well, yeah, exactly. It's very easy to say, oh, my life would have been better off if I'd had this. But you don't know. You don't know what you would have been like. You don't know what you might have been sensitive to that you didn't take, that you've avoided or whatever. There's a lot to think about. But it's so much easier just to be oh, yeah, pass better, therefore... better in general. Alien versus Predator. Let's just keep going.
The state, and there is lovely people at sort of gender GP doctors and stuff, and there's other places where you can get HRT, but it shouldn't be that way. It should just be through your GP. You should just go to your GP and say, look,
So basically, I know I'm cutting her off, but basically what it's is the NHS is in trouble in general, but we should specifically focus on like trans shit and just build loads of trans clinics. And that's why you should vote for the Scottish Greens and Sophie Molly, because, you know, there's other people with like issues, but trans people are like, we're bigger victims, so we need all the help. And all the rest of you that are struggling to get life-saving shit on the NHS or manage whatever chronic conditions you have, like, it's not really comparable to like trans people. So yeah, like trans people should get all the NHS funding, I think. And that's what she's saying. So I'm glad we agree, you know?
Been uncomfortable in my body. I don't feel it aligns with my gender. I would like some hormones, please. I'd like some HRTs so that I could feel better.
I would
in
like
myself.
some beauty blockers because
What, just immediately? Sorry, she's gonna go back to puberty blockers.
I don't feel it aligns with my gender. I would like some hormones, please.
Yeah, they want it to be like easy as that. It's crazy. Like, oh my god, I wish I could like talk to Sophie Molly. I'd love to try and have a conversation. I guess the closest thing I'm likely to get at the moment is that queer gossip thing on Monday, so that'll be a shit show at least.
Like some HRTs so that I could feel better.
I would
in
like
myself.
some beauty blockers because if the kids
Or
are young
puberty
and they
blockers,
haven't
yeah.
gone through, and primarily if they haven't gone through their puberty, then you can, you know, even though they're not old enough to be able to decide, I'm definitely going to, you know, change my gender and start a different hormone.
Oof, she's making my argument, but as an affirmative somehow.
They are old enough to decide that this is something that their decision they need to be able to delay, you know, and that.
Yeah, and then whilst they're delaying it, what's happening? Is everything being... Are they going through social transition? Are people affirming this path that they're on? God, Sophie Molly, I think, is about 38 or 39. She looks about 68, you know? The awkward hair. But, oh, right there. Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of things we could say about, like, trans women, aka men in their late 30s, and trying to look like little girls, but I don't know how to say any of it nicely, so I'm just going to carry on.
Puberty gut blockers gives them time to grow up a little bit without having to go through that puberty, and, you know, and then once they're a bit older, then they
Got the plushie as well. I don't even know what plushie that is.
can make that decision.
I remember I saw an article a few months ago claiming that PB should be given to children without a GD diagnosis. Fuck me, it's crazy. I don't know, they're pushing this shit so hard now, and people still don't want it. I don't know. I think if we want to head straight for a disaster, then that's a great fucking way of doing it. But thankfully, in our country at least, that's not the way we're going. And I guess a lot of the bans and stuff like that were yet to happen when this was 4 months ago, so June 4th. Also, I'd barely started my channel. I was like 2 weeks in. I could have watched this shit.
Because it is such an important decision. And so it makes
does.
perfect sense. And there's really no downsides, especially when you consider that cis children are prescribed puberty blockers every day to
For precocious puberty, which isn't the same thing. What the fuck?
combat precocious puberty. So
because cis people get it for one thing, trans people should get it for another thing. How do you even know which kids are trans? What's the how do we know? I don't understand. Seeing as a lot of them will desist over the course of puberty, how do you know? How do you know which ones should be getting puberty blockers?
you know, there's no compelling medical evidence that says that it's dangerous, that it can be physically dangerous. It's just transphobia, just
No.
precocious puberty. So, you know, there's no compelling medical evidence that says that it's dangerous, that it.
There's no compelling evidence that puberty blockers are dangerous. I mean, they can be. They can be. I mean, it depends when you take them. It depends how long you take them for. And if you carry them on to the next step, which is like hormones and stuff, and they're dangerous for you for whatever reason, then yeah, that you're just laying out a particular path which could lead to danger. What if you get a phalloplasty and die during one of the operations or something? It's kind of, oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
can be physically dangerous. It's just transphobia, just basically transphobia, that a medication that's available for cis children is not available.
Oh, it's so easy, isn't it? It's so easy. It's just transphobia. What? No, the fact that some kids will have their breast cut off and then regret it later in life when they made a decision when they were way too young to be making that decision. Nah, it's transphobia to question that. You know what I mean? Like all these people with botched surgeries or people that die on the operating table. Like there's been a couple of trans men, I think, from phalloplasty this year. But no, it's transphobia to question it. It's so easy. It's so fucking easy to be these people.
For trans children, and it's because cis people see being trans as something that needs to be cured. Like,
okay, I think most people in my audience are what we would call cis. Do all of you think that trans people are something that needs to be cured? I think most of you just would rather more of a shut the fuck up, to be honest.
Like they don't, it's like, oh God, not another trans person. We should force them to be something they're not.
We all should be cis according to them. And the Cash report, oh my goodness.
Oh.
Who are we getting this from? Which cis people are you meeting? Like, I have this theory that a lot of these people don't really spend much time around like the general public. But all of my jobs that I've done dealing with the general public in one form or another, you realize most people just don't give a fuck. And we're talking about how cis people want us to be like cured. Like, what? Like, why do people talk like this? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand it. Like, we wanna hate on cis people who are gonna be the majority of our like support networks. You know, in terms of our doctors, in terms of people we deal with in order to get like the shit that we want. You know what I mean? And their usual response is, transphobes hate us anyway. What about the people who are not transphobic will stop supporting trans people because of the shit you're pushing? Well, yeah, I mean, the only way they deal with those kinds of people is to remove all nuance and say, well, essentially you're transphobic too because you support X, Y, or Z that is transphobic. Me, myself included. I'm anti-trans because I'm not pro-trans kids. I'm not pro trans women in sports, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's completely cooked, but it's like that for a reason, you know?
Oh, what a
Cash
mess.
report. That's the most transphobic document I have ever read. It's just...
I doubt she's read it, but sure, it's transphobic. I'm sure you and the rest of your trans woman polycule were all sat up late at night fucking reading the cast review all together, just complaining about this, that, and the other that you read in there, because there's some truth in there that you're like unprepared to deal with, and this is your coping mechanism, I guess. I don't fucking know. I don't know what these people do when they claim they've read stuff like this.
Terrible. It just ridicules our entire existence.
Yeah.
How so?
And it also makes out that
Oh, we're not gonna say how so. How nice.
children aren't as smart as they are, because
Again, how so?
children know themselves
Do they? I thought I was going to be a racing driver when I was little.
at the age of 8 or 9 or whatnot, or young.
This doesn't even make sense because most of these people believe polycule. Oh, do you want to... you don't want to see what this polycule looks like. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway. Oh my God. They're never pretty. Let's put it that way. Like, there's a reason a lot of these trans lesbians all just kind of congregate in these polycules. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Children know themselves.
Yeah, this doesn't even make sense because to most of these people, this, like, the gender identity or whatever, it's like changeable and it changes throughout your life. Like, if they believe that, how can they believe that children know themselves in so much as their gender when they're like 8 or 9? Like, what is this even based on?
At the age of 8 or 9 or whatnot, or younger, they know their identity.
I know.
And
What does that, like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean?
I
they're
know.
trying to say they don't.
Yeah, I knew.
Which is nonsense. They do know.
If it had been an option for me, then I would have absolutely just jumped at it. I would have absolutely jumped at it, but it was just not an option at the time. Growing up in the 80s, it just wasn't a thing. Whereas
she's older than me. Does that mean she dyes her hair? Oh my god, I can see it. Never mind. Listen, I'm not shaming. When I go grey, fuck's sake. When I go grey, I'm going grey like with dignity. I'm just gonna fucking wear it. Who cares? It's already getting a bit grey.
now the information's out there. Kids see that they do have this as an option, and it's been taken away from them. They've been so betrayed by the health service in the UK. My heart goes out to them. It really does. I just, you know, I really do hope that this situation can be resolved, because it's you know, it's torture for these trans children. People need to, you know, we need to protect our trans children.
Horrible. It's horrible what they're doing. These are lives that the government are destroying. These are people, these are families, these are communities that are our community that they're tearing apart.
I mean, Jesus Christ. So are the people that get fucked over by the same system. And like, I don't know, they say so much crazy shit, man.
Because it's something that they don't understand, and it's something they don't seem to want to understand.
They never explain anything. It's just emotional language. You got an almost full grey head of hair. Oh my god, you're younger than me. I'm like barely going grey.
Or try to understand. That's why trans representation is so important. Because people need to see trans people, and they need to see that we're just normal people.
Absolutely.
And we're just wanting to live our lives.
This is not a normal person. I don't want to speak about this person really. Like, people do Lego, whatever. This is not a normal person. You can't sit on fucking Twitter atting fucking JK Rowling all day and pretend that you're a normal person. Like, no.
Is our true selves.
Most people who are transphobic, or you know, who call themselves gender critical, I think there was a survey recently, and the vast majority of them have never met an actual trans person. So it's, you know, it's from fear. It's like xenophobia. They don't know what they've never met us because we're this kind of monster in the.
Why don't you ever ask anyone? Do you know what I mean? Who's telling them this? Is this just shit they're making up?
Under the bed, which they've never really met. And if they actually met some of us, they'd hopefully be able to empathize a little bit more, see that we're real people, that we have real lives, that we just want to live our lives in peace, that we're not hurting anyone, that we are not the monsters that they make us out to be.
We're lovely.
In fact, we're
some of those lovely people.
I think.
Fuck, do I have any good images? I'm sure I've got a few collections of like insane trans tweets at people. I don't know, just search like JK Rowling's ats, I guess. You'll see how lovely fucking some trans people are. Jesus Christ.
We are. I think we're also strong. We have to be strong, and we have to, you know, in order to be ourselves, I think that takes a great deal of strength. And
so much.
So it's you know, I think that it, you know, instead of being afraid of us, they should give us a chance. Obviously.
I know.
What are people saying in the chat? Give trans a chance. Studero says, well, the problem there is that the discrediting has.
If they want to be left alone, they must leave women and children alone. Hey, I mean, that's kind of been my thing, I guess. Do you believe they would let anyone like me, a D-trans, discuss with them their actual points that bother me about gender theory and transition? I very much doubt it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know either of these people for sure, but most likely not. Like, people like this don't really like having difficult conversations or like argumentative conversations or whatever. Because yeah, they don't give a second thought to the other side of it. Like, how many people go through transition erroneously? You know, how many people die of like whatever because of these like surgeries? You know what I mean? I just, it's so rash, you know what I mean? Like, these people are so gung-ho, and it's like gung-ho with other people's kids and like other people's lives who we're saying that they know each other, but we don't even know these people that we're talking about. So it's like, I don't know. It just seems cooked to me. I don't know.
Mainly being among the people already in the know. I think the damage definitely hasn't been mitigated because the media and others have definitely given it way too much attention.
True. I know what you mean completely. I feel the same way, but it takes very little for people to start accusing you of being like transphobic, and I don't know. For me, like, I'm gonna be fucked with a lot of people because they can easily just look back over my Twitter or look back over my video titles and be like, oh no, you say things that aren't good about trans sometimes. So I don't know. It depends if they're honest, I guess. There are honest sort of trans SJWs out there, I guess. I've spoken to one, but, it's difficult. And when I say honest, I mean cares enough about their beliefs to actually talk on stream with someone about it that's critical,
That they've treated the
Gender Sharia, Jesus Christ.
The CAS report as a credible source. It's like, oh look, this is science to back up this position. But it's every major scientific organization.
Oh, here we go. Every major scientific organization. How many times have we heard this one? How many times? We've got the BMA, who've like, some of them have come out in opposition to it, but not even all of them. And like the BMA is just a union for medical professionals. And I think the guy heading it up is like it's not geriatrician. I don't know what it is. He works with old people.
Particularly medical organizations that deal with trans issues, that are credible, have derided the trans report as just.
They don't even know any of this. It's just because ones have said it, they just trust them. And I guess this was a major point on my debate with that Borg skeptic, was that lots of people just trust the fuck out of them. Yeah, it's another appeal to authority. All of them do it with the CAS review. Because the thing is, none of them understand most of it. And to be honest, I'm similar because I'm not a scientist in like any way. I didn't do a bunch of training for this shit. I just kind of jumped in without a paddle, you know what I mean? Oh, hey Cameron, those are not candy, those are Lego bricks. And apparently she'll add more for every 50 bits, but this is a old stream, so I can't help with that, unfortunately.
Junk science. It's a policy.
It's junk science. How? No one's said a single thing that's been like evidence with anything. They're just making things up.
They've made policy based on a document that would be rejected as any kind of, if it was a student who was handing it in as a coursework, it would be rejected and given
by what measure?
An F, because it fails in so many ways.
Such as?
One of the sources it quoted was.
Okay, one of the sources. We're talking about. Oh, these two are talking about the CAS review, and I'm talking about why they're wrong. I'm going to have this kind of conversation on Monday because I'm speaking to someone called The Queer Gossip, which is a, I guess, trans SJW podcast. I don't know what I'm supposed to call these people without them getting offended because apparently TRA is a slur as well. So I don't fucking know. But yeah, I'm going to end up having this exact conversation pretty much. So many people, all they do is just trust the medical organizations as long as they've got like an acronym that sounds good. Oh, WPATH, like the World Professional Authority or whatever on trans healthcare, whatever they call it. Like it sounds good, so it must be true. Oh, loads of WPATH doctors say it's fake. Let's not worry about, I don't know what fucking bias they have.
For a YouTube video or something. I mean, it's just.
Oh my goodness.
One of the sources was a YouTube video. When Erin in the morning was like shitting on Cass, I'm pretty sure she used like people that Hillary Cass and people like that are friends with on Twitter or follow each other on Twitter. That was some of her evidence. Why is it bad when one person uses a YouTube video, but someone else gets to talk about someone's Twitter followers? Who gives a fuck about Twitter? Everyone is insane on Twitter. Just like accept that,
It's the height of unprofessional.
Well, it is when they should be absolutely quoting, trusted medical journals and papers and research. They just didn't do any of that.
They just what are they talking about? It's like a meta study. They don't have the first clue what they're fucking saying. It's insane.
Because they obviously decided what the answer was going to be.
I'm just going to keep repeating myself. just assume everything they're saying is like, what is it based on? Unless they actually say, this is an example, or, you know, it's hard when even Wikipedia is in on it, I guess. If TRA is a slur, just call them cultoids. I use that word a lot. They're going to get called a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. There's people that don't like TRA. Well, it's like if you use TRA, they'll be like, oh, you must be a TERF or a gender critical if you use TRA. So it's like, oh, I don't fucking know then. Because they're supposed to be all kind of decentralized and stuff, but it's actually bullshit. It's just pretend leftism, because none of these people seem to know a great deal about like leftism, you know. She hasn't mentioned anything about like economic policy or like redistribution of wealth. It's all been like, oh, it's so important that we help trans people.
Before the report was ever published, and they said we need you to write a report that will support the policy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people like Ethan is online because it's easy for them. Trans rights activist. Yeah, it's easy for them because it's confirming someone's worldview. It doesn't have to be true. And like, some of these make insane amounts of money on it. And it's like, if complete fucking retards can load up these streams and actually get like a living off of it, then to me it's like, well, it can't be that fucking difficult then. And maybe saying some sense will kind of make a difference there. Who knows?
Policy that we want to put in place, and that is, you know, widespread removal of trans healthcare and puberty blockers. That was the end goal, and that's what they did.
There you go. We can just dismiss it as a conspiracy theory. Just like if I want to, I can dismiss what these people are doing. What these people are doing is they're actually pedophiles, and they're advocating to get children trans so that somehow it's okay for them to nonce on them. I don't have any evidence of that, but seeing as we're just throwing out conspiracy theories, I feel like it's okay for me to say that.
It's been relentless. It's been relentless trans bashing for months now in the run up to the general election, because we didn't just have the puberty blockers, we had the trans women getting barred from wards, from female wards.
Oh,
and that was
God, yes.
ridiculous.
And Labour were like...
segregation.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
It's
horrible.
segregation and Labour.
Segregation. I don't know much about the hospital ward stuff. I mean, I don't know. These people are going to complain about literally anything.
It was like we were like, well, at least Labour will have our back. At least they'll say something. It's like, no, we totally agree. We're totally on. No, yeah, we'll definitely segregate trans women. Good one, Tories. We'll definitely do that as well. It's like, what is happening?
Does it even ever happen? Like, even now, do they ever like segregate people? Because I was under the impression like hospitals don't usually have kind of room to do that kind of thing.
Where is the opposition? There's no opposition.
You have to be stupid to get it. Well, I think it depends. Like, it depends what follower base you're targeting. And the thing about just saying the kind of shit that these people say is that there's so many people saying it, it's kind of hard to stand out, you know? Because how do you stand out when all of you are wrong and all of you are morons?
And then you've got Starmer, who's like got parading pictures of himself at Pride and saying, "Oh, we support LGBTQ+." And then you've got like Rosie Duffield and himself saying, "Oh, I don't all this transphobic stuff on in interviews."
What transphobic stuff? Oh my god. I'm amazed this fucking bitch hasn't been done for fucking libel or slander or whichever fucking one. Either or, because they talk constant shit on like Twitter as well, so... And they complain about like the hate. Like, this is the kind of person that is like a trans person who's also a hater, who are like constantly at people on Twitter just shitting on them, like JKR or Glinner. And then when those people eventually respond, they cry foul. What accent is Tank Top using? I actually don't know. I think she's like European of some nature. Hang on, let me have a look. Norway, there you go, Norwegian.
And when people ask him what a trans woman is, he's like, he can't answer it, and he's just like fumbling around and trying to just please the...
What a trans person. Oh yeah, I wonder why he can't answer what a trans woman is. It's because like whatever you say, you're gonna have one group of people fucking screaming at you. That's the problem.
right wing.
Yeah, they want their
please the
cake.
gender
They want to
critical.
have their cake and they want to eat their cake at the same time. And it's you can't. You've got to pick a side here. You've got to either.
You've got to pick a side here. See, there's no room for nuance. This person grew up in the 80s, by the way. Both of these people are older than me. How am I able to sort of see how crazy shit is and why someone like Keir Starmer might not want to make any huge fucking statements about what trans people are or something? How am I able to see that, but these people aren't? Like, what are we telling these people? What are these people, like, you know what I mean? Where are they getting their information? Because it's, like, insane to me.
In interviews, when people
They want their
please the
cake.
gender
They want to
critical.
have their cake. Just that we deserve to have good healthcare, just like cis people, or you're not on the side of trans rights. And
Do you know what's crazy? We deserve to have good healthcare. That's what the cast review is about. That's literally what it's in service of. They want better healthcare for trans people. I've read the cast report, the cast review. Like, oh my god, these people are insane.
you try to convert us and think that being trans is a failed state rather than a natural way that humans are and have been throughout all of recorded history.
Well, I would even make the argument to say that banning trans women from female wards is a form of conversion therapy.
Yes.
It really is,
Right.
because that's.
What?
I would even make the argument.
This is just like, we have to use like the craziest terms possible for things. We love labeling things.
All of recorded history.
Well, I would even make the argument to say that banning trans women from female wards is a form of conversion therapy.
Yes.
It really is,
Right.
because that's, or banning education in schools for trans LGBT.
You have to teach it in schools, otherwise it's conversion therapy. Oh my god. I mean, I was talking to Olivia yesterday about conversion therapy. It wasn't that. It was like horrible shit. And we have to like drag these words so that they mean a whole range of different things. So it can mean getting the shit beaten out of you if you do the slightest thing wrong. Or it can mean being at the wrong end of a single-sex space. Okay, sure, whatever. We're so oppressed. Oh my god, look at all these white people being oppressed. There's so many oppressed white transsexuals on the screen right now. We should all hold a massive fucking pity party. Have you liked the stream? You should consider liking the stream.
BT education, that's also a form of conversion therapy, because what you're doing is you're denying people to be helped to understand their true identity.
Like, what? What if you're denying someone the ability to lead a normal life because you put a load of fucking shit into their head, a load of ideas into their head when they're young and they're impressionable? What about those people? Who was that? I can't remember who I was listening to. I think it was on some podcast when I was looking up like criticisms of the cast review. Yeah, we're like denying kids the potential of being cis by like transing them. But it's like that's literally what like this person's saying the inverse of, you know what I mean? Big jugs. I mean, a lot of these people, they end up getting boob jobs and shit like that. I'd imagine she's got a decent amount of money or something. That's what most of them spend it on, I guess. Oh, hi, Theo Davis. This stuff has been building since you were in college in the 80s. Yeah, I can imagine so, yeah. I think these two have been hitting the pipe. I would be surprised, but I don't know. It's all nice and well, but you mostly confuse people and try bending the reality to fit any BS. People get screwed up because of that. Yeah, of course, yeah. Like, they're so, like, gung-ho about how we should treat people's kids and so gung-ho about the way it feels, honestly. Sorry, I'm kind of cutting myself off, but, like, to me, it seems good to try and let kids figure stuff out for themselves, including, like, their identities. Why do we need to tell them what all the identities are instead of just letting them experience life and learn for themselves? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't we want that to be the case? But instead, it feels like we want to spell all this stuff out so that kids have these ideas in their head as soon as possible. For me personally, I 100% support the idea of not having these identities taught in schools. I think, secondary school, you should learn that gay and trans people and whatever fucking exist. And it's like, it is what it is, People should probably look into more information themselves if that's what they want. But I don't know. Does it feel that way to anyone else? I'm not sure. It feels like we have to teach the kids and not let them think for themselves. And I don't really support that. And I guess you can probably say that about education in lots of ways, and they get plenty of accusations that way. But yeah, I think self-identity and stuff and gender and stuff, this is shit kids should be figuring out themselves along the way, surely.
To be helped to understand their true identity. So you're...
Yeah, are they even helped to be are they even being helped to understand their true identity, or are they getting ideas put in their head? Why would we put ideas... Yeah, I mean... I'm not actually saying that they're groomers. I said something about paedophilia earlier, but that was just because they were making baseless claims about something else. So that was to illustrate a point. But it's gonna look weird. And it doesn't help our case when we complain about people thinking more groomers, when we're so gung-ho about transing other people's kids, because none of us are having kids. I don't think either of those two have kids. I could be wrong about this one. 99% sure Sophie Molly here has no kids. Oh, hi Pablo Murphy, how are you doing? But yeah, to me it seems more like we're putting ideas in these kids' heads and giving them a list to choose from. And do you know what, promoting the idea that they should overthink this shit when it doesn't even matter. If I were to look through a list of all the different genders and all that shit, I'm sure I could pick one out that probably most closely resembles my gender and sexuality and shit. But it just doesn't matter. I don't know what a word is for someone that just isn't very sex motivated and doesn't really think anything much about their gender. They just kind of exist. I guess that would be me, but who cares? If I'm technically a fucking girl or some shit. Do you know what I mean? Who gives a shit? Why would I want to sit there and think about that shit? And what does it actually bring me to come across that realization as these people seem to think it works like? It's just so strange. You realize you're gay on your own. Well, yeah, exactly. Why would you want teachers to teach you that you might be gay? Come on. These two are just going to put kids off transition. Oh yeah, because they'll see the... No. Listen, I'm not completing that sentence.
You're refusing them that, and you're blocking them from achieving that. And as a result...
Another point about this kind of thing, if we are putting ideas in kids' heads, those kids that then decide that they're trans, they're immediately inheriting now a heightened chance of killing themselves. And that's a point that these kind of people will push as well. It's you can't make it up. It's so bizarre. And it puts parents in such a shitty place. And none of these people have kids, so they don't ever talk about the parents and the effect it must have on them and how they might want to deal with it. At least I've never heard either of them speak about that kind of thing. To be fair, I've never watched this person before, but it never seems to come up somehow. It's just always the same things about how the cast review is transphobic and Labour is transphobic and we're oppressed even though we're all white people in first world countries. It's weird that I'm here kind of I don't feel the same way. I should be sounding the alarm with them, if anything, but yeah. How can they claim children know themselves yet also need help finding themselves? Yeah, true. These idiots' entire lives are just the embodiment of cognitive dissonance. Yep, welcome to trans people in 2024. It's great. Once again, if there was a proper protocol to actually figure out who has that, more on track with this discourse. I agree with you. Here's the thing. I would be at least a bit more amenable to trans kids if there was at least a better way of telling who's going to persist with it and who is not. because at least that would reduce the risk of like detransition when completely irreversible things have been done. I mean, there would still be other things to consider, of course, but they don't even manage that. You know what I mean?
As a result, they never get the treatment, never get the care, and then it impacts on their mental well-being, their
Absolutely.
mental health. So
Well, yeah, because they're told that they need this thing that we don't even know if they need or not. So yeah, if you put it in a kid's head that this will make them happier and whatever the fuck else, whatever it's about, then yeah, that's gonna happen. It's like so basic, but it's not even about logic or anything. It's just about the party line. And it's the party line that I'm trying to challenge as much as possible, because so much of it is like bullshit and is, you know, has made people turn away from like the trans cause at a pretty alarming rate. Because I tell you something, I don't remember anyone talking about like transing kids very much when I was like starting out. Like I saw something on the TV once when I was at Spoons, and like someone talking about like, oh, it's bad when they put it on kids and stuff. And me, I was thinking like, well, yeah, I agree. Like I did it as an adult. Like it's two different conversations. But now it's like that's a mainstream talking point. Like we are doing it to kids.
it's real nasty stuff that the government are preparing.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, if you're trans, you have a higher suicide risk. To these people, it's about identifying as trans. And they make the point that they'll kill themselves if they don't get the help they need. It's so twisted. It's fucking crazy. I don't know. I'm trying not to lose my shit too much. I'm trying to descend the iceberg like slowly. You know what I mean?
Proposing.
It's awful.
It's not never get the care. It's we'll just wait till older. Yep, also true. And by the way, going through puberty is not a death sentence. You know, maybe I'd look better, maybe I'd sound better if I'd have gone through, you know, a child transition, which never would have been possible anyway. But like, I may have also had additional like health problems. There may have been all sorts of other things that could have complicated it because of the fact that I did it younger, because I was getting different drugs potentially. There's so much stuff. And like, yeah, I'm not the most passing person in the world, but it doesn't really matter ultimately. Like, you just make your life as best you can. And if you're not amazing looking, if you don't sound amazing, that doesn't have to be the fucking be all and end all. But like, we don't want to tell people stuff like that, and I think it's important.
It's real Southern strategy type stuff.
It's just trying to prevent trans people from transitioning, which has absolutely been shown that is the best.
It's been shown.
That is the best outcome. If you're trans, the best medical outcome.
Well, transition should be something you go to if you can't deal with your problems another way and you still feel that compulsion or like disconnect or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't just reach straight for the fucking puberty blockers and shit. Trans semen nonsense. Listen, I wasn't being serious with that. I have no evidence. It's just these people say so much shit that they have no evidence for, that it's like, well, maybe I can say that then, you know what I mean? But no, I have no evidence that anyone involved here is a nonce, just to be clear.
The best outcome for your whole life is to transition and to transition as early as possible in your life, so that you can then live.
Wait.
Transitioning, which has absolutely been shown that is the best outcome. If you're trans, the best medical outcome, the best outcome for your whole life is to transition and to transition as early as possible in your life, so that you can then live the rest of your life, you know, with much less mental health issues. You just a lot less.
Hey Robin, hey lovely celestial Robin.
You got celestial Robin. Where's she? Oh, there she is.
Terrifying. They also talk as though social transitioning is risk-free, but nonce means paedophile, but it can be very confusing for a child. It can be confusing for a child. It's also setting them on a potential course for gender transition, which might not be appropriate for them. Obviously, all this stuff like social transition increases the amount of affirmation you're getting. It increases the kind of confirmation bias. You know, people are treating me as if I'm a girl. I must be on the right track. You know what I mean? So it's a way of keeping them in. At the same time, obviously, it's kind of a necessary thing. like, you know, for like social cohesion, I guess it is kind of important to a lot of trans people. So that's kind of the flip side of it, because it would be confusing going around nonce means happy person. Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know, let's just keep going.
Yes, hello. Hello. You're out and about
Yeah.
today, but I had to say hi. Do you know Robin? She's lovely, Robin.
I do. Robin's my good friend.
Oh, that's
Robin,
nice.
Oh, they all know each other. You'll be seeing in your nightmares. Listen, it's very tempting to increase the nightmares, and maybe I should actually. I don't know. Maybe we need a quick musical break. Please by accidentally mute your stream real quick. Hang on, I'll just do a little bit. This is the same person.
Concentration, I regressed because you wouldn't let me wear that dress. PTSD from masculinity. Well, you knew it was not the fit for me. Every time I tried it on, you looked at me with derision and scorn. Oh, I dreamt I would be the girl on the cover of Shop magazine. I dreamt I would be the girl on the cover of Shop magazine. I dreamt I would be the girl on the cover of Shop magazine. I dreamt I would be the girl on the cover of Shop magazine.
There you go, Sophie Sparkles. That's that person there singing a song about being a woman in a man's body. Anyway,
we've had a lot of nice times together,
Cool.
and because
we've had a lot of nice times together. They're like all polyamorous, by the way.
before all this
Listen, if I have to do some oral terrorism occasionally, I will do so. That's my prerogative.
before I got into politics, I just like went headfirst into politics. Before that, I was doing music, and I used to do music with the lovely Robin.
Oh, nice. What music
who's
did
wonderful,
you play?
wonderful musician herself.
Oh, yeah, she's
They were in a punk band called Little Love and the Friendly Vibes. It's not as shit as their solo stuff because the subject matter is just anything. And because it's like punk music, but with a whole band, you can't really hear the vocals as much, and they don't really have to be in tune anyway because it's punk music. Whereas acoustic music, like, even if it's like meant to be folk punk, like it kind of lives or dies on the singer's voice, you know what I mean? Like if you're a good singer, you can sound good acoustic, but if you're not, then it shows off your flaws, shall we say.
good on the piano, yeah. Well, and she's a
Oh,
good
she's
singer.
lovely
She's a
on the
singer as
piano.
well. What
I
music?
know, and she does cabaret, and she does a lot.
She's
She
a
does
real
lot of good
performer, Robin.
things.
She's really found herself in that. It's fantastic.
Oh, big up the Robin. And critical cupcake, another
India Willoughby on Big Brother. I should look that up. I haven't actually I just put this on and thought I'd put stuff on as I went. So
lovely friend of
Yeah,
mine.
we go. Hello, cool.
And we're all interconnected, aren't we? We're all such a small
it's
community.
a fairly small. It can be quite a small community. I know a lot of the people. I know a lot of the people on this stream who are regulars, and it's really lovely to see you all. Thank you for joining us. And also, there's quite a lot of people who kind of pop in and out from from Twitter, and from those kind of places as well. Oh, I've actually started building Lego, but no one can see. So let me just switch to my building scene. Hopefully you're still with us.
Oh,
Yes,
it's
you
looking
are.
nice. Your Lego's looking nice.
Oh, it's in a little tray. That's all I've done. I've made this much. It's
It
not very much.
looks like it looks like it looks a lot like something I was building as a child.
Oh, yeah?
And I used to love Lego. Yeah, I used to love making things with Lego. But I just go off in a whole world of my own, and just being socialized as a boy. I
Stuff that I
said to someone as a child, I wish I was a girl. I wish they took that seriously.
yeah.
And
we all say this, don't we? Because I remember thinking it when I was a kid. And it's kind of like, that doesn't mean you're supposed to be one. Like, I'm very aware that I probably thought more into those kind of thoughts than was maybe necessary. But like, I don't know. I've kind of theorized on my own transition an awful lot, I guess. So, yeah. And none of it matters. That's why I don't care, because I am what I am now. And I'm fine with what I am, so.
I wish they sort of they didn't just scream homophobia at me when I was doing anything like.
Stop doing kid stuff when you talk about medically transitioning. Listen, trans content is very tone deaf. This just is how it is. Like, if we can say the wrong thing or do something that suggests the wrong thing or anything else, that's just what we do. That's just what we fucking do. I'm surprised I don't have all sorts of Nazi-looking shit behind me, quite frankly. I don't know.
Like, feminine. Yep. They used to mock the way I talked as well. They used to be like, oh, you sound like a girl. Why do you sound like a girl? Why do you walk like a girl? Why do you talk like a girl?
I had to just mask it.
Well, I'm not a TA right now, I actually think. Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, throughout my time, like, knowing these kinds of people, there was always stuff where I'd be like, no, I'm okay. I just don't think that's true. Like, so much of this shit is, like, ridiculous on the face of it, and I'm not the kind of person that will bend reality to make myself feel better. I mean, not to the extent that some of these people do.
Think back, it was so much abuse.
There was so much abuse. And if you couldn't mask, or it wasn't, you didn't learn to...
It's like this bullying and, like, harassment and shit, like, it just defines their lives somehow. Like, does nothing else happen? Like... I just don't know. People have been mean to me in my life, but do I spend all my time doing that shit? Oh, my radiator's too close to my door. Listen, I bought this place. It came in the condition it's in. I don't know how to move a radiator, and it's like nowhere near the top of the list of things. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Suppress it or hide it or learn coping skills to just pretend and blend in. It was hell, wasn't it? I mean, it was hell. And for the most part, I did. For the most part, I learned pretty quickly that I couldn't show this kind of stuff. That I had to try to pretend.
Where did you learn it from? See, I understand the sort of the feeling that you should probably be quiet about a thought like that you have. Yeah, but it's like, it's me choosing to keep it quiet out of something I'm worried about. It's not necessarily a rational thought process. You know what I mean? People questioning you is abuse now. Great. Yep, that's what we want. That's what we want. Anything short of complete affirmation is conversion therapy now. So have fun with that, I guess.
Hell, wasn't it? I mean, it was hell. And for the most part, I did. For the most part, I learned pretty quick.
I don't know. Why can't you just agree that this person is a woman? I don't think that's that hard at all, quite frankly.
That I couldn't show this kind of stuff, that I had to try to pretend that I was a boy, but I knew in my heart that I wasn't, and it was just
pretend I was a boy. I knew in my heart that I wasn't. Like, God, I wish I knew where this stuff comes from, like more clearly. I'm getting a lot of it because I see a lot of the content that they've seen, or they have a good chance of having seen, but it goes deeper than this, you know?
It's so stressful and so much more difficult living up and growing up like that.
Painful. Like, see, trying to just push yourself into to be something you're not, trying to fit yourself through.
I have absolutely no idea what kind of radiator it is. I have plenty of other problems that I need to deal with in this house when I have the money to, before I start worrying about where the radiators are in comparison to the doors. I don't know. I don't use the radiators much anyway. I prefer being cold.
Through the wrong hole. It's the wrong shape for you. It just couldn't. It couldn't. I just remember like crying one day and going, I can't do this. I want to just, I don't know.
These are all the memories these people seem to have. Like earlier, Sophie's like, oh, I see this Lego. It looks like something I made as a child. And that's about, oh my God, I hate you, Scooper. And that's about it. But then like we're talking about all these bullying things and like vividly remembering like your thought process and stuff. It seems like this these outside forces have kind of become your whole identity in a way. And like, no wonder you fit so well with the trans identity, because it's all about being bullied. It's all about being a victim.
I wanted to just not be forced into Boyzone, into not the band, but into the mode of boying, and I just didn't like it at all. And
No.
it took ages to.
Yeah, like, how old was this person when they felt this way? Considering they started transitioning when they were like 36 or something.
Undo the damage of being socialized as a boy. I remember when I first came out.
So when was that? How long ago? How long ago?
They were 33. There we go.
Were you?
33. I'm 37 now, so I've been out for about 5 years now.
5 years.
Woo!
Congratulations.
They're probably 38 at this point. I don't know. It kind of seems to me a lot of these people get into pretty shitty situations, and like, there's just a way of coping with it. Like, this person was a musician. They have a song called like "Poverty is a Prison." Like, they've experienced poverty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just seems that way. It certainly was true for me. It seems to be true for a lot of people.
Years.
That's really good, Sophie. Well done.
5 years. It's forced into Boyzone. Yes, that would be quite traumatic.
No one
I'm
wants to be.
joking.
Yeah, they felt this way the whole time, but still went around being a guy for a long time. You know. I don't know. When we use like these memories of feeling different in our gender, it really isn't confirmation of anything. It's just a story, ultimately. We had a thought when we were a kid. We had loads of thoughts when we were kids, you know?
Forced into Boyzone.
I'm joking. I mean, if it was E17 or if it was I don't know, Backstreet Boys.
That still doesn't sound like a healthy
okay with that.
lifestyle. I don't know.
Yeah.
As a trans woman.
but no, even people in those boy bands back in the 90s and noughties, whatnot, they were forced into being all kind of the typical kind of boy next door, and I bet you a lot of them didn't feel comfortable doing that either. It's all the social stereotyping, all the shoving people into boxes because this is what society should be.
But that's what you want with, like, oh my god, they constantly put people into boxes. It's all about labels.
You should not ever divert from this.
You have to act a certain way. You have to talk a certain way.
And like with gender, these people are like this because it's like, oh, I was a bit feminine when I was younger. Now I'm a woman, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's a very backwards way of thinking.
You can't say that. Men don't say that. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got to be this. You've got to be sexualized. You've got to do this, say that, and you can't show these too much emotion. You've got.
Who are we talking about? Like, it'd be nice if we had any actual experiences to like back this kind of shit up. You know, it's just always the same complaining. Like, I just can't imagine complaining about my life this much. I don't know. Maybe I used to when I was younger, but these people don't really have that on their side, you know.
You've got to be gentle, you've got to be kind, but you can't be too kind or too emotional. If you're a man or if you're a woman, it's like, oh, you can't be too conservative, but you can't be too sexual. Mm-hmm. It's like you can never win ever in the patriarchy. There's just no way of winning in the patriarchy. You
can't win. It's much
so that's
better.
Why I say no.
Mm-hmm.
Patriarchy, what do they even mean when they talk about the patriarchy? Who fucking knows? We're hearing from technically three male fucking women, so doesn't that seem a bit patriarchy? We're even being them now. We don't even just hold them down at every opportunity in society because of patriarchy or whatever the fuck. We're like taking them over now. We're gonna like feed your babies with our trilk, you know what I mean? We'll get womb transplants one day, maybe, probably never, hopefully. Like, I don't know how they can say half this shit with a straight face. Like, there's no way that these are like Sophie Molly's like independent thoughts. This must be coming from somewhere which probably has come from somewhere else, that's ultimately sourced somewhere. But it's like, I don't know, you've got to be sexualized. I fucking don't know. Neither of these people have a clue what they're talking about, as far as I can tell, about anything. Like, if this person's talking about Lego or something, I could guess that they probably know a fair amount. But this shit, like, no way.
The patriarchy.
Good. I'd say no to the patriarchy as well. We should all be free to just express ourselves as we feel we are.
That's what the gender critical people say, but they're saying express yourself how you want, but you're male or female, you know? It kind of feels like these people are like, I'm expressing myself more feminine. That means I must be a female.
And have no shame.
I can't even remember what we missed. They're just talking so much rubbish. It's all about patriarchy. We should abolish the patriarchy and be free to be ourselves. But what being ourselves is confusing, because what the fuck does anyone mean when they say they're being themselves? What would it mean if I were to say I'm being myself? I fucking don't know.
You know, we shouldn't be made to feel ashamed for who we are if we don't, you know, if we're not perfectly conforming. I think that's...
I would like to think I'm not really shaming them for who they are. It's the fact that they have these beliefs about, like, children that seem to be baseless and recommending they get themselves transed, you know?
That's the future I'd like to see. That's the...
Formative, not natural, don't feel comfortable. Yeah, I mean, I try not to read too much into that kind of thing, but I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to sort of tell from the way people act more when I've seen more of them, but who knows? You can express yourself how you want. That doesn't entail getting any medical intervention. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you as well, Paggy.
The future that I think, like, you know, a lot of the younger generation, they do seem to have a bit of a better handle on this.
I think when they said sexualizing, to be fair, they were talking about genders, like sexualizing women or men. I can't remember which one. They're like, it's like so much dribble coming out of someone's mouth, you know, a lot of the things they're saying.
They seem to...
Oh
shit, I've stuck my sticker the wrong way around. Fuck. Gotta take off my sticker. Sorry, interrupt.
Oh, sorry, I was so busy lying that I fucked up my my Lego.
I get so little hassle. See, from people, or almost zero hassle from people under the ages, let's say 25.
Yeah.
They're brilliant.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
They're so clued in on what it means to be LGBT.
I think they are, and I think they have more friends who are LGBTQ, and I just think that it's not as big a deal for them. That's what I would hope. And this isn't necessarily evenly distributed around, you know, all the, you know, I'm sure there's other places where, you know, they are going to still be bullied at school or whatever. Some places are not good for them, but on the whole, it seems to be better. It seems to be a little better, certainly than when we were growing up, you know.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely, the language is better too.
Yes, that's
the way
true.
they talk about their emotions and
They weren't trying to trans kids when I was younger, and I'm younger than both of these people.
stuff. Children actually express their emotions more. Like, we were just told if we were too emotional, just to go away, just to be silent. And there was never really. When I was
Enthusiasm for the youth noted. Listen, no comment. I'm not saying anything.
growing up,
That's why I hate when they try and make it kind of a spiritual or philosophical subject, because it allows them to be nonsense without being challenged. Yeah. And these kind of conversations, it very much feels like the goal is to not challenge each other. Like, just agree and just commiserate together, because they're so oppressed. You know, this white woman, this white native Scottish woman, and this presumably native Norwegian white woman who's able to live in this house and play with Lego all day. Like, these people are clearly very oppressed. I mean, look how oppressed I am with my pretend Gibson behind me, right? There's an actual Gibson in there as well, but it's not an expensive one, so don't try and rob me. But yeah, I'm so oppressed, right? Like, look how oppressed I am. All this shit that I can just sit here and fucking about all fucking day. I'm so oppressed.
I was never taught how to manage, how to process my emotions as a child, because emotions weren't seen as a big deal back then. Because the UK traditionally has a very stoic it's Stoic society.
That's
Stiff
true.
upper lip.
Stiff
all
upper
that
lip.
nonsense.
Yeah. Just lay back and think of
and
England.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah. It's so damaging because all it does is you end up just like pushing all your
Oh, don't worry. Scooper's usually like that. Don't worry. He probably has some ketamine shoved somewhere. That's a joke.
feelings deep down, and you don't. No one expresses themselves, and all that happens is people end up depressed and full of social anxiety.
Yes.
Like what happened to me. I had to push myself to break from what I'd learned. I had to unlearn all the toxic masculinity, all the
The toxic masculinity. Do you know what? They were talking about something which I kind of related to as well. That's the worst thing. It's just completely fucked it up. All the toxic masculinity that I needed to unlearn. It's like, yeah, I was not well socialized. Be amazed by that fucking statement. And like, I kind of grew up learning to fear people and learning to fear like any kind of confrontation and any kind of like discrepancy between people. And like, it wasn't good for me, and I had to unlearn all that shit. But it wasn't like toxic masculinity. It's the same as I had to learn how to deal with like my emotions. Because like when I was younger, I'd just kind of lash out at people and I'd say all kinds of things that you shouldn't say to people. And yeah, I had to unlearn shit tons of stuff. But like, it's got nothing to do with toxic masculinity. You know what I mean? Like, do we have to keep throwing in these buzzwords? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And the thing is, do you think this person ever wonders, oh, if I'd had more help for the kind of stuff that I was struggling with when I was younger, would I even have transitioned? Because I think about stuff like that, and there's every chance I wouldn't, and maybe I'd have been happy. I don't know. I mean, my life's gone a certain way and it's fine, you know, but you have to kind of wonder, because you have to, you know, there should be some curiosity as to why you are how you are, surely.
nonsense. All this, just that, all that, yeah, stuff
Because like, I always understood toxic masculinity to be more stuff like shaming other guys for being like gay or feminine or something. I thought it was fairly specific, but so many people use toxic masculinity to mean like masculinity. And it shouldn't be that way, because there's lots of positive masculine traits. Like, you've got a man in your life who, you know, keeps people secure and earns money to keep people eating and keep the lights on and stuff like that, to be responsible and to be able to take charge when needed, for example. Like, those are like masculine traits, you know, being strong. But those are positive traits. But even toxic masculinity, like, we don't use it the way it seems to be accurate. I don't know, whatever the word is.
Built-in shame that society makes you feel ashamed to be who you are, and
Like, can we get an example of any of this? Like, oh, society's just so bad, and like, society's bad, you know? And I just think this trans stuff, it's just bad. And that's my thoughts. I should end the stream there. There we go.
you've got to kind of get past that and just say, I'm not ashamed anymore. I don't think I should be ashamed for who I am, because this
Like, who's telling you to be ashamed? You know what I mean? This just seems like we're saying the same talking points that everyone else says, because we're such victims. We're such victims that we all live in houses and are white-skinned and able to speak English perfectly well.
this is just who I am. Why should I be ashamed of this? You know, I
Almost like learning how to repress some useless stuff could be beneficial. Who'd have thought? Yeah. And like, being stoic, it doesn't have to mean bottling your emotions up. Surely it's just more about knowing when to release them, I guess. Because I think that's very important. I think it's important to know when it's really not a good idea to get emotional, or to at least express emotion, that you might want to hold off on that for a short while, or you might want to try and channel it in a certain way. Because again, like, I talk about like myself as an example, but like, being able to learn how to channel like emotion into music was something that helped me a huge amount. And like, instead of dwelling on all this stuff that I just repressed because I didn't want to complain about anything, you know, it helped me massively, because people need outlets for this kind of shit ultimately.
am
Oh, shame.
But isn't it everyone's kind of responsibility to kind of learn how to like channel their emotions in a responsible and appropriate way, you know? I mean, that's why your parents try and help you. That's why you try things out and find something that you can be passionate about, surely.
Yeah,
Shame's
shame's such a bad thing in the trans community. It's like when people come out, it's like sections of the society make trans people feel ashamed.
Yeah.
They make trans people feel like, oh, it's not normal
Well, coming out is attention seeking, so I don't know.
to be like this, and
what
it
they
is
It isn't normal.
normal.
It isn't. It is normal to be trans, everyone. We're, what was it, 0.5% of the population. We're normal. Being trans is not normal. I'm not normal in pretty much any way. I'm fine with that. That's great. I don't want to be normal.
But they keep saying, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you sure why are you a woman, Sophie? Why can you not just be happy in the gender you were born at? And it's like they're making you feel like all this kind of like guilt.
I mean, if I was asking it, I'd be more asking, in what way are you a woman? Because if someone asked me that, I have no idea how to answer, you know? Because I don't call myself a woman. That's the easy answer to that one. But if I was trying to still cope like I did before, I don't really know what I'd say. Like, there's kind of no good answer, I guess.
And shame for just being yourself.
Exactly.
And it's horrible.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's just horrible.
And it's like they're making you feel like all this kind of like guilt.
Well, by asking you why you're doing something fairly drastic. Oh, geez, I don't know. Why does it automatically have to be shaming?
Shame for just being yourself.
Exactly.
And it's horrible.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's just horrible. You know.
And don't even answer. Just be like, well, I'm just being myself. Great. What does being yourself mean? That's the problem. You can just go infinitely. Like, well, what does that mean? And what does that mean? And it's like, eventually you're going to be like, well, I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather have been a girl. It's just feelings. That's all it is.
You know,
It's horrible what they do.
I wish they could be happy for us.
It's so horrible. He has no fucking examples.
You know, that we are, and then there's a lot of people who don't do this, you know, but there's also a huge amount of people who do. They want to reinforce, they want to put us back in the closet, don't they?
Hey Shiloh, how you doing? We're watching some queer slop.
They don't like the fact that we're out and proud and we're living our lives and we're
Next Matt Walsh documentary, What Is Myself?
potentially being role models. I think both you and me probably could do.
These two want to trans children. We're talking about it whilst doing Lego. That's about it. I don't know how much I'm going to do of this because it's just shit that I put on, so.
Just because of the fact that we're kind of publicly visible trans women out there being, semi-successful in certain aspects of our lives, the people that scares other people.
Like who? Who are people scared of?
Threatens other people.
These are the kind of people that probably feel threatened by the fact that Blair White exists, by the way, or Buck Angel, or any of those other ones. Some level of public shaming and dissuading certain behaviours is useful. Well, I mean, no one's going to complain about, for example, shaming paedophiles, you know what I mean? The only way they might complain about it is if you're the kind of person that's constantly dropping it in completely unwarranted. Like if we're talking about Lego and like, oh, this Lego thing, yeah, it looks cool. By the way, I hate nonces. I wish nonces would die. We should put all nonces in the wood chipper, That's the only time, really.
They don't like it at all. They want to just just shove us so far back into the closet. They want to just push us right into Narnia.
Who is they? Wait, actually, I don't know. I have a theory. On who they might be. I can't prove it, but I have a theory anyway. Actually, it also reminds me, you get those like Muse songs where it's all about, oh, they won't destroy us. It reminds me of that. It's so cringe.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I hate TRA language. Everything they say is basically trying super hard to appear nice and inclusive and kind. It's psychopathic and disgusting. Yep, true. These people usually are abusive fucks. This person says all manner of nasty things to people on Twitter who they've deemed fair game. And then when they're on here, they act nice as pie. Of course they do, because they're talking about absolutely nothing that these two will ever disagree on. Like, do you think over these 3 hours there's going to be a single disagreement? There might be. I haven't watched the whole thing, to be honest. I mean, this is 3 hours. I'm not going to watch 3 hours. Anything close. But, like, do you really think there's any, like, disagreements here? I mean, you know, like, when I spoke to Ray and when I spoke to Olivia, it was, like, friendly conversations, but there was definitely disagreements. But will they disagree over, like, a single thing? You know? And, like, I could never watch stuff like this. I always got really bored of all this kind of queer, trans, like, affirmative, like, content. I don't know who watches it these days. I mean, this video is 26 views. This person, I think, their main channel is, well, their main platform is Twitch. I think they have a lot more followers on there. And, like, I'm only using Twitch because I already had the thing, so. But yeah, 1.1k followers. They still do stuff as far as I know. Last month. That's 5 days ago. I don't know. Usually these people have like jobs besides. And I mean, if you've got this much fucking stuff, like you kind of have to, right? I mean, I'm guessing a lot of them work in IT. Yeah, these people are always like, oh, we're so nice. Why doesn't anyone like us? And then anyone that says the slightest thing, they're usually like flipping their fucking lid on. Does this person have Twitter? I feel like I recognize them slightly. I'm not sure.
But they do. They don't want us coming in. Yeah. That's looking good.
What, the Lego?
Yeah, that's coming together well. Is the way of the future.
That's what I hope.
And it's I hope that's what the next we see the next generation. Really, I like that.
Yeah, just by existing as trans, you know, it's a powerful message that people can latch onto.
It's a rebellious act, isn't it?
I know.
Oh, it is.
Cho, I would as well, to be fair. Like 212 or something like that. It would never happen, I doubt. Like, I'm not gonna get a hold of Sophie Molly because she has me like blocked on Twitter. Like, I said all kinds of shit. But I'm not pretending to be the nicest person on planet fucking Earth, and I'm not pretending to be all beleaguered and like, oh, the world just hates me so much and I don't even know why I'm so nice. I'm not pretending to be any of that kind of shit. Like, this person I think possibly has me blocked as well. They do look familiar to me. I think I found the channel quite a while ago and just never found anything particularly interesting. You can quite easily if you pop in some of these weirdos groups. Yeah. I'll try Alec Gunter. I got banned from Alec Gunter's server for disagreeing with a bunch of transoids. Ooh, I have a message. Oh, that's for Monday. This guy Torrin is interesting. I'm being nice. What's their name? Meja or something. Is it Trans Bricks or something? Oh, it looks like someone else. Oh no, it is. This is a different person. It's a different person who hasn't been on here in a long time. Ooh, a trans woman. Hey, look at this trans woman. Can you see the trans woman? Inspiring woman with an inspiring message. Excuse me. From one trans woman to another. Whoa. Okay, and listen. Let's just stop. Your existence is rebellious and powerful. I hate this whole idea that being trans is political, that existing as a trans person sends a message. I don't want any part in whatever message these kinds of people think being fucking trans consists of. Like, fuck that. Like, I don't know what message my existence is sending. I know what it does now because I have a fucking channel. I didn't have a channel like this for that long, though. I mean, Jesus Christ. Hang on, I have a second thing open, so I won't transphobe out. Oh, thank you, Ginger Blaze. Listen, here's the proof. Here's the proof. There we go. I'm blocked. I already know that I'm blocked by Sophie Molly. But yeah, the chance of me ever getting a conversation with one of these people, like, they might not remember who I am. If I get into a Discord, they might. A lot of them seem to lock down their Discords and shit, though. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if they even... I just want to see what they were saying here again. That chick's hairline is rebellious. Yeah, I wouldn't be brushing my hair back in that way, especially if I dye it, because you can see the roots and stuff. But that's just me. Listen, it's... Whatever people want to look at, excuse me. Whatever people want to look like, that's up to them, I guess.
It's something I learned. It's something I pushed myself to do because I wanted to be more outgoing. Because when I was a child, I was so shy because people were bullying me, and I was just never allowed to be me. None of us were. None of us in the trans community were. And
none of us were. What are you even talking about? Like, who do you think you're speaking for? Being myself when I was a kid, being myself when I was a kid had nothing to do with trans, because I wasn't trans yet. I started when I was 25.
And I just pushed myself. I was like, no, I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to take it. It's like that song, "We're Not Going to Take This" by
I'm not going to take it. It's like that song, "I'm Not Going to Take It," where they say, "I'm not going to take it."
Twisted Sister, yeah. Okay. And I used to listen to that a lot. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to take this. I'm not just going to like bow down. And
Naomi building Lego. I've no idea. Like, I don't know if I can stomach Naomi today, but we'll see. I might be able to go on till a bit later. So you never know.
And let everyone just have their way with me. That's not right. Everyone just take away who I am. Yes.
You want a voice. You want to be able to have a voice for yourself, and you want to show how.
And the sad part is, it's not a voice for yourself. It's a voice for whatever shit someone else spewed into your head, which might be second or third hand in itself. You're not speaking for yourself. You think you are, but you're not.
How beautiful your voice can be, you know, especially as your true self. I think
how beautiful her voice can be. Please do not tempt me. Please do not tempt me to put another fucking Sophie Sparkles on. Please. You're making it so hard right now. You're making it so hard. I really want to, by the way. I would love to spend a whole fucking stream watching Sophie Molly music videos. That'd be hilarious, but I wouldn't get many follows that way. Who's Naomi? Fuck me. Nominal Naomi is basically Vorsh, but trans woman who has fed a baby using her breast, shall we say. So that's an image you can enjoy.
People also respond to authenticity, don't they? People respond very strongly to authenticity.
Somatic self. People respond very strongly to authenticity. What authenticity have I heard?
Also respond to authenticity, don't they? People respond very strongly to authenticity.
See, I agree with that, but I don't know where these people get off on talking about this. Because it's just the same shit. You know what I mean?
And I suspect that that's what they see when they see you. They see someone who's authentic, who's true.
And I hate this because, like, when I was younger, like, this is these people being themselves, and I just found it unrelatable. I started wondering if I even was trans. Because, like, I transitioned and then discovered that other trans people are absolutely nothing like me in any way, shape, or form somehow. I don't know. I don't even dress like any trans people that I know of. Nominal Naomi, Trilk lady, yeah.
True to themselves as much as anyone else, you know.
Oh, actually, I like that.
Yeah, just by existing as trans, you know, it's a powerful message that people can latch on.
See, this is a powerful message just radiating off of me. The talking thing is just, you know, it's just extra. I can just sit here on stream, saying and doing nothing, and like the powerful message coming off of me because I'm trans, it will inspire everyone. There'll be Hitler salutes everywhere in no time. That's a joke. I'm not actually a Nazi. You don't need to know any more about Trilk than you already do. Yeah, no one does. But hey, I don't know.
Rebellious act, isn't it?
It's a rebellious act. It's also an act of self-love. And it's something that people can admire.
It's an act of self-love, isn't that basically AGP? There we go.
You know, it's like everyone, a lot of people, even though they're not trans, they might be completely cis and het or whatever, but they still might be fearful of showing their true self. They might, you know, they might always wish they could have been a ballet dancer or something like that, you know, something that they maybe traditionally wouldn't have been allowed to do or would have felt bad doing. But
Why can't you be a ballet dancer when you're a boy?
But we kind of show them that you can be yourself and that there's no shame in being yourself.
The difficulty high-pitched voice of this person makes me want to hear when they hit a table with a toe. Listen, I don't sound very feminine when I do that kind of thing. I'm sure I can imagine.
And that
you don't have to
Oh, hi GH Jackal, how are you doing?
censor yourself.
Trilk. Oh my god. How do I explain this without sounding insane? Trilk is when a transgender woman, aka a male, takes a certain substance that makes them produce like milk from their pituitary gland, like as if a woman was lactating, but it's a trans woman, and then they can feed a baby using their trans woman boob. That's what it is.
Yeah,
to fit into the box and tick society's box. And I
oh my god, stop talking about this box shit when these people, like, you want to present the children with all the boxes when you teach them about all these like identities and stuff. They just project so much. They're either projecting or their shit makes zero sense because they're saying one thing 1 minute and another thing another thing another time. What at the next minute? Fuck me, I can't talk today. They say one thing 1 minute and then the exact opposite the next. Yeah, we don't need to talk about Trilk, by the way. We can just not. Unfortunately, the very powerful message sent by trans people's existence is not what they think it is. That is very true. Too many, in fact. I mean, there's one quite powerful message Sophie is definitely putting out there, which is that she doesn't wash her hair often enough. But apart from that,
hopefully, I hope that me and you and other and the rest of the trans community, we show that.
Is the milk even healthy? Well, there's debates about that. Supposedly, it's the same basic thing that comes out of a woman's pituitary gland when she is lactating. We don't know so much about what medications are like transmitted into the milk. I don't know if it's ever been like analyzed and confirmed that it's the same substance. I've had people suggesting that the mother of the child would surely produce the best milk because they carried them and so on. I don't know how much merit there is to that, but it's certainly something that could be true. I'm not a milk expert. Yeah, there's a lot of things. The other thing is trans women don't produce as much as a woman. It's the kind of thing, oh, I'm so sorry. It's the kind of thing where it probably is okay if you've got no other option. But like, do we need to be doing stuff like this? Do we need to be replacing women in this way? It's so strange. You've analysed it in your home lab. Who did you get it off?
That we show that to people that authenticity is the way of the future.
That's what I heard.
And
Listen, if you ever set up some kind of Trilk business, you have to make sure you include like portraits of the person who produced it. So you get these lovely like manly like faces on there. Like, yeah, that's my milk.
I hope that's what we see the next generation benefiting from that. And I loved seeing all the happy young sort of queer people yesterday. It was so nice seeing them having fun out in the sunshine.
That's good to see.
At Pride.
Yeah. Oh, so you've already had a Pride, have you then?
Pride sucks. What else we got?
I should have been more. I don't know. I should have been more gracious, and I shouldn't have like sort of went into that. But it's like you say, when it's your entire identity that they're going up against.
It's difficult.
Your entire identity. Did someone deny that they're trans? Is that your entire identity? If being trans is your entire identity, then that's your entire fucking problem right there.
it does
to be
put them in a
clear.
position of power.
Does.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to be clear and to argue from a very objective, dispassionate place, because this is my life. How can I be dispassionate
It's quite easy to be dispassionate about it.
about it? You're trying to...
It's called grow a spine. It's called you had balls at one point in your life. There must be some remnant of that left in you, or are you a complete pussy now? I don't know. It's not difficult. And getting emotional in these kind of talks never helps anyone, so...
You're trying to literally make it impossible for me to exist in human society.
Not true. They just don't believe in your self-assessment, whatever.
How could I not be impassioned about this?
I know, and it's like, I need to sort of like,
Problem I have is when they try saying it's healthy as mother milk, when mother milk is precisely designed biologically to have the same nutrients, antibodies. Yeah, there is that argument. That's why I say the only use I can say for Trilk is like, if there's no other option. That's about it. I don't know. And it is strange.
like you were saying earlier, rise above that kind of schoolyard stuff, because that feeds
You do, but it's not easy.
Rise above that schoolyard stuff. She got fucking deselected for calling J.K. Rowling a torn-faced cow on Twitter.
Easy, you do, but it's not easy. I can understand that it's a very
like
difficult thing to do.
We all slip, and we all have these moments, and but I'm becoming tougher. I'm becoming stronger.
Listen, go on Sophie Molly's Twitter and tell me that she's like tough or any kind of shit. It's not being done for the health and nutrition of the baby, but affirm the transparent. See, if that's why it's being done, then I'm against that. Like, it should only be focused on helping the children, you know?
Stronger. I'm becoming more thick-skinned, but it's not changing me as a person.
No. Seriously, though, if she doesn't have you blocked, which there's every chance, go on Sophie Molly's Twitter, like, what is it, Sophie Molly _off or something. This person is not thicker skinned. They have not developed in this way since fucking June.
Still really happy and nice.
That's good.
Yeah, it's so good, all the things that you're saying that there's no evidence for you fucking doing.
I'm just becoming more resilient to the hate, and I'm getting better at just ignoring.
Yeah, that's why she keeps talking about it. Jesus Christ, I hate this person. Anyway.
Actually done these kind of surveys,
That's
or got the
true.
numbers, or made these predictions, and that they
sort of demand them to sort of say, well, we think that Harry Potter and your ethos as a company are in conflict, and we would love to keep supporting buying Lego.
So this video is trans girl meja, sorry, I don't know how to say that, Lego and chatting to Sophie Molly, candidate for the Scottish Green Party, and the channel is Trans Bricks. They're a Twitch streamer, I think, principally. So Sophie Molly's a guest on this person's channel. They have, I think, 1.1k followers on Twitch or something like that.
But unfortunately,
Yeah, I know, it sucks. I think I did interact with them. Oof, they look a bit manly on that pause. Let's keep going.
this might be a deal breaker.
yeah.
And this might break the bricks, but no, it's sort of like, yeah, it's like it's a good way of campaigning, is to sort of put the moral slant on it, and just to say, well, people now, and we could get together sort of statistics and say, well, here's statistics on how many people support trans people, and here's your demographic, and as you can see, most young people are supportive of trans people. So these are the percentages. And
Well, yeah, because you're getting them young. You're getting the ideas into their head young. That's what you have to do. You don't have kids of your own, so you have to corrupt everyone else's kids. It's a bit sinister.
does that not clash with what you're selling? And so, yeah.
But Sophie Molly was a candidate for the Scottish Green Party. This video came out in June this year. Since then, she was deselected for talking shit on Twitter about J.K. Rowling. She's gone even more insane and off the rails and wants to like prosecute anyone that's mean about her in any way, shape, or form. There's these like pictures. Hang on, let me see, because it would actually be funny, but I need to actually have them. I don't know. God, why don't I know what anything is called? It won't open this, so it's fine. There's a picture of her with like clothes pegs on like her nipples. And like I think on her tongue or something as well. Which you're not supposed to like show anyone. Like definitely don't put these things on display on the internet anywhere. I need to see if I can find it though. I have so much stuff that's just saved under random names. Because she really doesn't like these pictures appearing anywhere is the thing. It wasn't September. Oh, I don't know if I've got them. Oh well. Supportive of trans people means... Yes, the one with the ball in the mouth, the elastic. Yeah, don't post those pictures anywhere on the internet. Sophie Molly really, really wants you to find these pictures and post them on the internet. Exactly. It's so punk. This is like so rebellious and so like fuck the system by censoring people. The thing is, she really, really wants people not to share these pictures anywhere. Oh, here we go. She really doesn't want these pictures like appearing on the internet. Like you shouldn't ever share anything like this or show it off because she might come after you and like try and sue you and stuff. So don't show these. I'm showing it just to describe what you shouldn't do. So this is a warning to anyone. Please do not share this picture of Sophie Molly licking a riding crop with a clothes peg on her nipple for some reason. Don't know what the clothes peg is doing on the nipple. Like, is it a pain thing? I'm not a fetish person. I don't know any of this shit. But definitely do not share anything like this. You shouldn't share this. This one's not so bad. About to use the female toilet at the count. Nothing you can do to stop this woman. Message to TERFs in the counting room. I'm gonna be in your bathroom. Nice. But yeah, these pictures, don't make them visible anywhere on the internet, because Sophie Molly really, really wants these pictures to go like everywhere, and then she'll like potentially not sue me if I don't show them. So I really have to like make sure people know that this shit is out there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. All right, I'll shut up. All right, can I be fucked with any more of this? It's like, this is like cult as fuck. I'll do slightly more and then I'll find something else to watch. But yeah, it's a good job we did that, because now you all know never to post these pictures anywhere, because Sophie Molly might get upset and might get litigious on you. And I was just doing it as a warning. Like, this is what you shouldn't do. Don't be like me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Kind of a person.
Am I not aroused? I'm not. I take antidepressants.
And you are, and if you're a good person, you're a good person, and it doesn't necessarily matter about. It doesn't matter about the externalities. I think that's a really important thing. A really important.
Don't you want to know what these people consider a good person?
Perspective that trans people have.
Are these people not self-aware when they make such creepy pics? I can't imagine ever wanting to put a ball gag in my mouth, put clothes pegs on my nipples, and then take pictures of it that I would then put on the internet. I literally cannot imagine what goes through someone's mind to make them think that. It's a bit like Heather Herbert, who is Sophie Molly's partner. I might as well find this, because like I've got ages. Like, you can take these pictures, but like, why put them on the internet, even if you do? Like, this is one of her partners in the polycule. Hang on, how do I get this to appear? How do I get this to appear properly? Don't do this either. Heather Herbert does not want this picture going around everywhere. So what's happening is, this is the disabled Lou in Gatwick. This person has had surgery not very long ago, as in like vaginoplasty, a day or two ago. Went into this toilet to dilate because she couldn't do it anywhere else, and then posted on the internet about the fact that she's using a disabled toilet in Gatwick to shove something up her newly created fanny. That's what this picture is. But yeah, don't share this around, because Heather Herbert will not be very pleased. What was the caption? Dilation, day 2, let's play. Where in an airport can I locate a clean, dry place I can lie down, take my knickers off, and spread my legs? Why would you say that? She's not on her period. She can't even have a period. She's like dilating because she had a vaginoplasty. I loathe polyamory and these people are not a good rep for that lifestyle. No, I mean, you know, ugly trans women are gonna flock together because no one else is interested. 2 Marys. Oh yeah, because my thing is behind. Yeah, when I turn my camera off, I just have that behind it. It's handy. It's handy. Fuck, what are they fucking talking about?
Non-transphobic trans
see
people.
beyond.
Non-transphobic trans people. That's definitely not me. She certainly seems to see, so it's fine. I don't know. Do I want to show Heather Herbert? I'm not sure. Go on then. Oh, she was on ITV. She was interviewed about Isla Bryson. Oh my god. That gives more AGP than half the MTF subreddit, yeah.
Next tonight, a
I love capybara videos.
transgender rapist has been moved to the male wing of a prison in
Capybaras are hilarious. There's this one video. There's a couple I've seen. One of them, this one has this like water feature that goes down when it gets so much water in it. It's just hitting this capybara on the head over and over and it doesn't give a shit. I saw this other video. It was like a baby goat or something, like headbutting a capybara up the arse. And it was just sat there like absolutely fine with it. They're like the chillest animals ever.
Scotland tonight after a storm of protest. Isla Bryson was convicted of raping 2 women when she was a man called Adam Graham. Well, Bryson decided to transition from a man to a woman whilst awaiting trial. And after being found guilty of the sexual offences this week, Bryson was remanded to Cornton Vale Women's Prison in Stirling.
Not a woman. Isla Bryson, whatever your name was, Adam or some shit. Not a woman.
But as our correspondent Rachel Younger reports, the
Oh, do capybaras smell like popcorn? I didn't know that. I wouldn't know, unfortunately. You don't get them in my country.
uproar for Scotland's First Minister to intervene.
Oh no, what I'm talking about was there was this thing that kind of dispenses the water, so it pours down and then it like goes like that when there's enough of it. And it was like this actual thing was like hitting it on the head over and over. Just every time it filled up with water and went down, it's like just bonking it on the head like over and over. And it just looks miffed for a second and then just goes straight back to like just sitting there.
A violent man who refused to take no for an answer. Adam Graham was charged with rape after attacking 2 women he met on online dating sites. But this is who the courts have convicted, because Adam Graham...
Can you see?
Dating sites.
Whoop, not yet.
But this is...
Woman, look at the woman. Hey, can you see how womanly this woman is? This woman that's so womanly. You know, this is this trouser bulge thing here. You think it's not really a woman feature, but it actually can be. Like some women just have such enormous vaginas that they just kind of stick straight out. And like if you look at yourself in the mirror or look downwards and you see a bulge like this, don't fix it. Like it's fine. This is just normal. This isn't showing off your male genitalia or anything. The bamboo thing. Yeah. I find that shit funny. Anyway.
Who the courts have convicted, because Adam Graham is now Isla Bryson, tried under that identity after deciding to transition.
And brutalising your conscience. Tapirs. I don't know too much about tapirs. I should look more into them.
First taken to Scotland's only all-female prison before sentencing next.
Like, one of my old jobs that I was at for a really long time, they made us redundant about a year ago. And for several months on end, there was almost no work to do. And I was in the complaints department and there was just almost no complaints. So we just sat around all day. I'd just like sit and learn about like animals and stuff and like watch like wildlife videos. It was kind of great.
Next month.
I have no idea why the Scottish Prison Service would want to assess a male rapist in a female prison.
Rona Hotchkiss used to be the governor at Cornton.
There is an atmosphere around this whole issue that says that trans rights trump women's rights, and in this situation that's simply appalling.
Bryson, who's had hormone treatment...
Yeah, how do we come to the realisation? How do we come to the decision that trans rights should trump women's rights in this instance? What's that based on? Is it ever worded this way to them, or do they just start straight on with the fucking, oh, rights are not pie, you know, taking some away from, you know, giving more to someone doesn't mean less for everyone else, when it's like, there are situations where rights kind of collide in that way. So yeah, in this instance, it kind of is like pie.
But not surgery was kept apart from the other inmates here, but there's deep division.
Is a governor like a warden? Probably. It's crazy that it's even discussed really. Yep, it's almost like we have no real problems anymore and we're pretending that we still have problems, but this is the shit we're like bitching about, so.
Over gender identity in Scotland, with the First Minister forced to defend her decision not to intervene sooner.
And what I
Men's rights trump women's rights, that's what it's based on.
have said is that short term or long term, this prisoner is not going to be in Cornton Vale, but it is important to allow the Scottish Prison Service operationally to give effect to the decisions that they have taken.
Can I ask the First Minister, will she go to Cornton Vale? Will she personally explain to the women there who are sharing their prison with a double rapist why on earth...
They didn't end up getting... This Adam, whatever his name was, he didn't end up getting put in with the women's. He was like assessed at a women's prison. All this backlash came about. And then he went to a men's, which, good, right decision.
Her government is allowing them to be in a cell next door.
You're a man and I'm a woman. That's your opinion.
All this playing out against...
Oh my God, I need that for like a soundbite or something.
Why on earth her government is allowing them to be in a cell next door.
You're a man and I'm a woman. That's your opinion.
That's your opinion. Oh my God. What is this hair? You don't have to have a fucking mullet.
All this playing out against a deeply...
I worked for a Scottish company, not actually that long before I started my stream. They were fucking cunts.
Controversial debate. Scotland's Parliament's just passed the gender recognition reform. Deeply controversial debate. Scotland's Parliament's just passed the gender recognition reform bill, making it easier to officially recognise someone's
Wait, but where's Heather? I want to see where Heather is.
chosen gender. Legislation blocked by the UK.
It's been made into an issue by people who don't want the gender recognition certificate, the Gender Recognition Reform Act, to pass.
I think she's from like the Midlands as well, which is funny.
For trans activists like Heather, a delicate debate needing the coolest of heads is being jeopardised by the hot fury surrounding where Bryson's imprisoned.
Here's some fun things. Heather Herbert tried to defend that guy that was like shaking his ass around at Pride.
Each prisoner is individually assessed. So
Individually assessed.
if a prisoner is a danger to the prison population, or the prison population would be a danger to them, they are put into the correct prison estate.
Bryson,
She doesn't work in the prison system or anything, by the way. She doesn't have any clue what she's talking about.
today moved to the male wing of a mixed prison, has been warned to expect a long sentence. The path to finding a balance between trans rights and safe spaces for
Yeah, we can see you, bro. We know who you are, you fucking rapist prick. You forgot to put your penis away for one thing.
women is likely to be equally lengthy. Rachel Younger, ITV News.
Yep, this person is nuts. Hang on. Oh, that's my thing. Whoa. But yeah, I can't remember. I've seen most of the things she's been on. She was one of those people that used to go on like panel shows, and I was making fun of these people when I first started my channel, so it's like there might be ones I'll go back to for specific points, but for the most part these are just dumb idiots who call themselves activists and get a vague following on Twitter and some shit, and then they feel empowered to say complete dumb shit on national television occasionally. Oh, this is Nominal Naomi, by the way.
If any male has a biological advantage, they should not be competing against females.
In that case, like a trans woman who was on puberty blockers, she should be able to compete, right? She'd never gone through a male puberty.
I think sex screening should come back in.
Don't you want some trilk from this person, from this Michael Cera looking, I mean, totally not Michael Cera looking person? Oh, hi, Student Drinks. Not anything, but I am going to. I don't know. I'll let you know, because I haven't got anything lined up, but I'll find something.
In so that anyone that has a Y chromosome cannot compete.
Oh, it's about the chromosomes again. So now the XX male, the de la Chapelle syndrome, he can compete again. See, you're just changing the story every time because none of your systems work.
This person's like, Oh God, I know what I should do. You know Sharon Davies? I should fucking vorsh up on her. Yeah, great job, bro.
And you don't know anything about.
And these people are always like fatter than you think as well. They're always like hunched down on this kind of, I don't know. Reminds me of Stardust's figure, if anyone knows who that is.
About this.
My story has stayed the same from the word go. From
No, it hasn't. You've gone from it's about the.
Won't even like let her finish a fucking sentence. Like, this is so cringe. I've watched this fucking Sharon Davies shit. It was fucking cringe.
Chromosomes to it's about any kind of competitive advantage, which you're not going to name how to determine, to if they've gone through a male puberty, which those all are different classification systems, and I pointed out holes in all of your potential plans.
You
like,
carry on.
You just don't seem to have a consistent or clear policy on this.
Sharon does have to leave.
I understand. I'd have to go to after that.
If any male has a
Bosch ride. Anyway.